have some more Lions news and rumors for you folks today. In this video, we're breaking it all down. What is the wealth of the Lions franchise and compared to the rest of the NFL? We're going to get into the rankings right there. Tyleik Williams, could he be a better pass rusher than expected? We're going to get into a trade proposal. We'll look at that proposal. Is it good, bad, or ugly? Free agency rumors. Should the Lions sign a player that was just released? And are the Chicago Bears after Za'Darius Smith? Let's go ahead and get into it right now. We're going to start with the Lions franchise. The Lions among the least valuable NFL franchise. Report shows that a $5.4 billion, the Lions are the 30th most valuable franchise in the NFL. Only the New Orleans Saints, $5.3 billion, and Cincinnati Bengals, $5.25 billion are worth less. The team's value is up 30% over the last year. Only 3 teams saw bigger jumps in that. The Buffalo Bills, 42%. Los Angeles Rams, 38%. New York Giants, 38%. Well, no stuff, right? Of course, that is the case. The Lions have been cheeks for decades. So that everything was down. But now that the Lions are the better team and they're getting better, of course, it's going to go up, and it's going to continue to go up, just like the prices are going up. High, and higher. That's what happens when you win. You know, people want to be around the franchise more, right? You get more advertisement. You get more everything around the team when you're a winning franchise. So the value of the team is going up, but we're still a low-value team in regards to the NFL, but $5.7 billion. It's not like that is anything to laugh about. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. Why is that? Because we're doing Lions news and rumors, and we're talking about it if it breaks, so you don't miss out on all of it. The Detroit Lions believe that Tyleik Williams could be a better pass rusher than expected here. Ray Agnew, assistant general manager of our Detroit Lions, says, I think his pass rush ability is underrated. In my opinion, he can push the pocket with power, but I think the guy also has some quickness to him too. Also, Agnew said, he's a learning man. You're going against the NFL offensive lineman rather than college offensive lineman, but I think he has a chance to be a good pass rusher. And I think he's set up in a good situation here in Detroit with the Lions' depth at defensive tackle. Now, he's going to have to be a player initially because Alim McNeill is injured. But when Alim McNeill returns, the Lions got a great opportunity to put Tyleik Williams in positions to succeed where he struggles at and compared to where he performs well. And that's just going to be to the benefit of Shep and the defensive line as a whole. Look, we have great coaches and we have great players. You look at Alim McNeill coming out as a third-round pick, ended up being really well. Tyleik Williams is compared to an Alim McNeill. And if that's the case, he can definitely develop into a good interior Russian defensive lineman. And that's something that a lot of teams values because it is hard to find those guys. And you win on the defensive line. You win with the rushing the passer and stopping the run. The big guys aren't sexy, but they're definitely good when you're trying to win championships. Defensive lines get it done. Now, a trade proposal just came up, and it came from Heavy.com, Heavy on Lions. Let's get into the trade proposal for a player. Now, in this trade proposal from Heavy.com has the Detroit Lions trading for Travon Walker, the edge rusher from the Jacksonville Jaguars. In this trade, the Lions get Travon Walker and a 2026 sixth-round pick. Jacksonville Jaguars received the Lions' first-round pick in 2026, fourth-round pick in 2026, and a third-round pick in 2027. That could be changed to a second-round pick if he were to require 10 sacks or reaches the title game. That's a lot to give up. So what is the Lions' current draft picks for this year's draft? We have a first, a second, a fourth, fifth, 2 6, and 2 7s. So if we do this, I mean, we do got a lot of draft picks still, even though we traded a lot of them. We still got a lot of draft picks. We do. But look at the players that we've picked up in the draft and later rounds. It's more difficult to get on the team. So having a late round picks, I don't think the Lions would utilize them just simply as late round. They could trade up, use that as a trade up scenario. But if they're to do this trade, this is what the Lions would have in 2026. They'd have a second, a fifth, sixth, 3 6, and 2 7ths. So I don't think this is an option for the Detroit Lions at this moment. But let's go ahead and look at Travon Walker's stats. 31 solo, 30 assists, 10.5 sacks, which is great, and 2 forced fumbles. Here's the thing. I think Travon Walker could crush it here in Detroit, especially with these defensive line. He could crush it. Him and Aiden Hutchinson, they're drafted in the same draft. That would be nuts. He's what they like. 6'5", 272, right? That's what they like. But it's a lot to give up, and I don't see the Lions doing a move like this. And I know that the money for this year wouldn't be a big deal, like in the article it states, because he's on his rookie contract. But the Lions giving up that draft assets, that amount, it doesn't seem realistic. Now, maybe at the trade deadline, this could be something that could occur. It'd be a lot less than what they offered, but maybe a trade deadline, they could go for Travon Walker. So would you trade for Travon Walker? T for trade, P for pass. Now, a player was released, and the Lions are being, urged to sign this player. Jabrill Peppers, released from the New England Patriots. Detroit Jock City says they should get him. So since joining the league, Peppers played in 99 games, 85 starts from the Patriots, Cleveland Browns, and the New York Giants. The East Orange New York Giants native here assessed 331 solo tackles, 35 breakup passes, 7 interceptions, including pick 6, 6 forced fumbles, 5.5 sacks along the way, and even recorded 75 plus Pro Football Focus defense grade in each of the last 3 seasons. Now, Jabrill Peppers is 5'11", 217 pounds. A lot of Michigan fans know who he is because that's where he played. 29 years old, drafted in 2017 in round 1, pick 25. We seen earlier what he did in his career, but what did he do last year? 20 solo, 20 assisted, 1 forced fumble, 2 pass defense. Now, for the Detroit Lions, I actually think this could be a solid signing. Why would that be? Well, because it would give the Lions veteran depth that they currently kind of don't have that much of. We just signed a safety, but we still could bring in another play if they really wanted to get that depth a little bit more intense, right? To have a more solid depth, especially with the veteran player. Because if there is injuries, you'd like to have a veteran in there. That's if they fully don't trust what they have. I don't know how much it would cost to get a Jabrill Peppers. Wouldn't it be much, right? He was just caught. But it could be a solid option for the Lions. It could. It makes sense if they wanted to go that route and add a low-cost player who could bring depth to that safety position. And if he wants to win a championship, this is a team that is on the cusp, right? This is a team that's right there. So maybe that is something that they both would like to look at. I don't know if it'll occur. I don't know. I have no idea. Probably won't, right? But I think it would be cool. But I think if the Lions wanted to do it, they could, and they got the money to get it done. So would you like the Lions to sign Jabrill Peppers? S for sign, P for pass. Let me know your thoughts in the comments right now. Let's continue on here and talk about heavy on Bears, talking about who former Detroit Lions players, and they're urging the Bears to sign Za'Darius Smith. So the Bears Lions both lack depth of talent at edge defender position. The rest of Detroit's roster at the edge position is either weak, inexperienced, or unproven, or both. Pass rush looks on paper, at least, like the biggest hole in the Lions roster on either side of the football. Well, I do think that Marcus Davenport's awesome. I think that the Lions starting defensive linemen are fine as players. But for a lot of Lions fans, is can Davenport stay healthy? So it's not that they don't lack talent. They have the talent. Can they stay healthy? That is the biggest question. And now that's why I would like to have Za'Darius Smith on this team. Is because he would bring a great insurance policy just in case if there's an injury to Davenport or Hutch or Al-Qadim Mohammed if you need it. Whatever. At least you have another body in there. But it doesn't really look like the Lions are going to do that. It doesn't at this point. So we'll see what happens if the Bears sign him, the Bears sign him. If another team sign him, another team signs him. So nothing that we can do but sit here and just report what's going on and what's rumored. So give me your thoughts in the comments below. With that